Hello everyone, welcome to the Redmen TV and your latest episode of Oppo Preview. My name is Dan Club. I am delighted, absolutely to be delighted to be joined by TV presenter, producer and announcer for Fulham Football Club, no less, Ivan Berry. Ivan, how are you, mate? You okay?
Yeah, I'm very good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all good, thanks. Thank you so much for joining me. Massively, massively appreciated. We're here, of course, to look ahead to Liverpool taking on Fulham this Saturday at Anfield. I'm going to get the Fulham perspective right now from yourself. Let's talk about the season so far, shall we? In the form, the more immediate form, if we can, as well. Obviously, a very, very creditable draw last weekend at Craven Cottage against Arsenal. Beat Brighton recently, drew with Spurs. The defeat against Wolves is sort of the outlier, if you like, in terms of the recent form. But yeah, just generally, 10th in the Premier League. How's it all going down there?
I mean, you speak to any Fulham fan at the moment, we're absolutely loving it. I think Marco's come in, since he joined when we were back in the Championship. Sort of, no one really expected it. It was a bit left field. No one had predicted it, and we weren't really sure what to expect. And he's galvanised the team. That season in the Championship, unbelievable. Obviously, you've got players like Mitrovic smashing records to bits. I think we won 3 times. We won 7-0. We just tore it apart. And then to come up to the Premier League and considering the few seasons we had where we were up and down, to now come into the Premier League and to be every season seemingly to be building on the last, and that's whilst every season losing some pretty key players, with like Mitrovic going and Palhinha going as well at the start of the season, Willian as well. These players were so important for us, yet we're still building on it. And, in this season, I think it's certainly been the best so far. Again, we're entering games and every game we enter, we think, we could get something from this. And that's not a mentality that Fulham have really had since I've supported them. Clubs like, when we play a club like Liverpool, or Arsenal or Man United, we always think, we'll let them play their game. If we come away with a point, we've done so well there. Well, now we don't have that. We're going into every game and we're trying to win the thing. And, that's credit to Marco Silva. And yeah, this season, again, it's been excellent. I think we fully expected to get something from Spurs. In recent times we've played them when they've been managed by Ange. It seems to complement our style under Marco. And, this time last season, we thrashed them 3-0 at the Cottage and, we took points at theirs as well. And so I think we were expecting it. And I think if Kearney hadn't been shown that red, we might have even come away with the 3 points. Brighton, again, we thrashed them last season 3-0. We're a bit of a bogey team for Brighton, so we expected a good result. And, we not necessarily playing amazing, because, Brighton are a tough side, but we still managed to win 3-1. And, they've never beaten us in the Premier League. And so, again, a bit of a bogey team there. And again, Arsenal, we beat them last. We were the reason they didn't win the Premier League last season. And again, a tough game. It was on the back foot for a lot of it. But, he seems to be every season he's strengthening areas where we were weaker the season before. And I think bringing in players like Joachim Andersen, who, he was on loan with us the season we went down with Parker, and he was our player of the season. Unbelievable. I mean, defending wasn't our issue that season. I think we scored like 18 goals all season. It was appalling. So bringing in players like that and really solidifying, and then you've got, players like Iwobi that has just come to life, assisting, scoring, just like running the show, and and taking players like our strikers, Muniz especially, who we signed, barely played, end up being Premier League player of the month last year. It's just unbelievable, and he's the one doing it. And so I would say we're feeling. You speak to any Fulham fan, it's a very, very exciting time. But we always have to caveat that with the size of Fulham, we know the better we play, the better players perform and our manager performs, the likelihood someone's coming in and, taking our favourite things away, which happens. Liverpool in the past have pinched a few of our favourite things, and it's the way it goes. So, I'm I'm loving it, but at the same point, I'm aware there's every chance it's got a time limit. So
No,
we'll
absolutely, absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's the nature of the beast, isn't it? Ultimately, when we win football, by and large, we've had that from Barcelona and Real Madrid down the years as well. So yeah, it's all the same, whatever level you're at, really. But yeah, and I guess you are fearing the worst a little bit right now, certainly when it comes to the manager, because I think the aforementioned Spurs might be taking a look at Marco Silva potentially at some point.
do you know what? I said it when we beat them 3-0 last season. I said it on the day as we were heading home, and I said to my dad, I was like, love it, but I'm telling you now, he is now on Daniel Levy's radar, and it doesn't help that every time we've played him, we've outplayed them, quite considerably. And yeah, I've got a yeah, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not
And
going to say anything,
no, don't jinx it.
I've got to admit, I'm scared now that a lot of people are turning on Ange, put it that way.
No, I don't blame you whatsoever. In terms of the injury front right now down at Fulham, you mentioned a couple of players there that probably fall into this category. Actually, Tom Kearney being suspended, one of them. Calvin Bassey's also suspended now, picked up his fifth yellow card. That's a big blow. Harrison Reed, you mentioned Joachim Anderson, and I think Reece Nelson. That's sort of the collection of lads who aren't going to be available for this one.
Yes, I've got to admit that the really worrying thing for us there, there's a couple of players you mentioned that, we have strong backups for them. Like Nelson, he's been fantastic, but Traore is, an absolute beast at the moment. His pace is ridiculous. And, although he's not maybe scoring, in the way we'd like, he's certainly assisting and putting the ball in the right places. So, Harrison Reed, again, it's a tricky one, but we have a lot of players in that midfield area. The real issue is Bassey and Joachim Anderson. Joachim Anderson's been unbelievable already this season. He's just come back and it's like he's never left. And, we've been fantastic in defence. His partnership with Bassey has been unbelievable. I mean, Bassey's fan favourite. Love him. He's been solid. Issa Diop is a great player. And against Arsenal, again, showed his quality. So that was good. But then to lose Bassey, that's where we're going to struggle against Liverpool massively. I think to have, what we're going to see is we're going to see, an Issa Diop and Jorge Cuenca, who hasn't really played that much for Fulham at all, really. A couple of sub appearances, maybe a cup appearance, and that's it. So that's the big fear. So I don't really know much about Jorge Cuenca. I don't know his quality. And obviously, you want your centre-back partnership, you want there to be some history there. You want them to understand each other. And so what you're going to see on Saturday is going to be pretty much a brand new partnership. And so that, I think, is the one worrying thing, the one really worrying thing for us. And that's not to say they might be brilliant. They might be unbelievable, but yeah, we don't know. So